Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Alaka here for EPCreativeMedia, and I'm back with a brand new tutorial video. But first I bring you the verse for the day, and it is from John chapter 1 verse 14, and it reads, "So the Word became human and made his home among us. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness. And we have seen his glory, the glory of the Father's one and only Son." And so now we head into the tutorial, which is today, as you have probably already seen from the title, is how to download mods for beginners. So this is a very basic mods beginners download tutorial, I suppose you would say. And so basically I'm gonna head right into it, right? As you can see on the screen right now, I've got a few tabs that are open, which is a couple of mods as well as custom content. And so now, before I actually begin, I want to tell people the difference, because I think people get confused between the difference of a mod and custom content. Mods are basically mostly in the form of a package file as well as a script file. Although with that said, not all mods have a script file, but a lot of mods do use script files. And the reason why mods are called mods is because they actually modify the game. They modify the game engine and how the characters within your game operate, or how the game actually operates, its functionality, so to speak. Okay. Whereas custom content, also known as CC, is basically something that just improves aesthetic elements. So it doesn't really change the way the game operates, it just adds to the aesthetic, way in which the game actually looks. Hence custom content, including things like furniture, decorations, things from CAS, which is create a sim, such as hair, makeup, clothing, etc., that sort of thing. And so it deals mainly in the aesthetic side of the game, whereas mods actually modify how certain things function within the game. For instance, SimRealist, which is one of the mods I'm going to be showing you. SimRealist changes how the medical system works. SimRealist also changes how the banking system, the money system works within the game, because the game one that's available right now is very basic, where SimRealist actually provides a more fleshed out way of how your Sims can actually manage their money, right? And so let's get right into it, because I don't want to spend too long trying to explain like the beginning. This is for beginners, so I don't want to confuse you too much as well. And so right now, as we can see, we are on Little Miss Sam's website, and Little Miss Sam uses a lot of script mods, as well as obviously package files within the mods, hence why I chose to use her website, or her mods basically, as an example. And so here, as you can see, she organizes her mods in accordance to obviously the most recently updated ones, and I think the most recently updated was gender and more custom lot trait. Now this is a mod basically that changes which gender is permitted within a particular lot. So for example, if you want to create, like if you've got spa day and you want to create a women's only spa, spa, for example, a women's only gym, only female Sims will actually enter that gym, which is, I think, is absolutely amazing. I actually really love this. And so let's say, for example, I want to go ahead and use this mod. So I'm going to go ahead and download it from Google Drive. If you have CurseForge, you can go ahead and click on download on CurseForge. It will take you to the CurseForge page. And if you have the CurseForge app on your desktop, it will basically be able to just download it directly to your mods folder, and you won't have to go through this, downloading gymnastics that you have to go through if you're doing it manually. I do things manually. For the most part, I do prefer it that way. I feel like it keeps me more in control of what I need to do. However, some people do find it easier using CurseForge. For me, it's not really a preference, for the simple reason that not every single mod and custom content is actually on CurseForge. It is handy because CurseForge does automatically organize your mods folder, which means if you download other mods from other places, you already have a place where you can actually go and place them, which is something I'm going to go through with you in a second. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on download using Google Drive, and that should take me to my Google Drive folder, as you can see right now. And normally when you preview your mods folders that have got a zip file in Google Drive, it will show you a preview of all the files. So if there's loads and loads of files in it, you'll be able to see all of them. You have to just go ahead and click on download. And when you click on download, obviously depending on how your downloading system works, mine always asks me where I want to place my items. And so in this particular situation, I want them to go in the mods folder, which is all the way in my D drive. I keep all my mods in my external hard drive. I have a tutorial already out there, and you should see the link right now, where you can, it shows you basically how you can be able to place your mods folder in your external hard drive. And so I go ahead to the electronic arts folder. And so if it's in your documents, you have to just go to your documents, electronic arts folder, double click on that, and then double click on the Sims 4 folder. And then within the Sims 4 folder, you've got your mods folder, double click on that one and go ahead and save it. Now, if this is your very first time downloading the Sims 4 game, what the Sims 4 game actually does is, before you can even have your mods folder available to you, as well as the tray and saves, if I'm not mistaken, you actually have to launch the game first. Launch the game first if it's your very first time, okay, downloading the Sims 4 game. Launch the game, open the game, and then after you've opened the game and then you close it again, only then will it create the mods folder for you to be able to place your mods in there. Prior to that, the mods folder will actually not be present. So always launch your game if it's the very first time that you are actually if it's your very first time that you have actually installed the Sims 4 game. Launch the game first in order for it to create the mods folder that you need. Okay, and so now that that has actually downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just ask the folder to take me there. For those who don't know about the shortcut, literally just click on there, click the folder there, and it will take you straight to the folder. This is especially if you have trouble finding, locating things that you've downloaded. This is the best way. Now, as you can see, I already have a couple of mods in there. I've removed all my other mods from the mods folder just because I don't want to confuse people. And so right now I've got the UI cheats folder, file, should I say, in the folder, and then I've got Twisted Mex's build by and tool mod folders in there as well. Now with the UI cheats, oh well, that was close. With the UI cheats, basically I always just place it directly into the mods folder because there's no more additional files that come with it, so I don't need to place it in a particular folder. And so I always just put it directly in the mods folder. It comes with a package file as well as a script file. And something to note as well, if a mod creator has basically created a mod that comes with both a package and script file, never ever only place one without the other, otherwise the mod will not work. Okay, you will find that when you read the notes as well that go with the mod on the mod creators platform, they will mention this in their notes. So it's always important that you actually read the notes. Same goes with Twisted Mexi. Twisted Mexi actually has very specific rules of how to place the mods folder. When you first download the package file or the zip folder, sorry, it normally, after you've zipped it up, it normally tells you to say drag this directly into your mods folder. If you go any further deep, then you are doing it wrong. So for example, I don't know if this is still there. If I do this, okay, it's gone because I deleted it. But it normally says, you know, if you have gone far as this, you're actually doing it wrong. So this literally is the folder that you find in the zip file for the Twisted Mexi's build by, better build my, and he basically advises that you basically take this folder and drag it straight into the mods folder, or cut and paste it into the mods folder. And so going back to the Little Miss Sam's zip file that I've just downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and extract it. Okay, always make sure that you extract your zip files or your RAR files, because again, this can cause problems when you try to launch the game. It won't be able to read the files, and sometimes it actually causes the game to crash. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind. Now that I've zipped that file, I'm going to go ahead and delete the zip folder because I don't need that anymore. And then within the Little Miss Sam, I'm going to go ahead and double click, and you find that the files are in there. The ones in this one are both actually package files. Okay, and as you can see here, it says gender and more lot trait, and then gender and more lot trait add-on. This is for the lot challenge. So this is basically if you want to add it alongside other bits and pieces, because the good thing about lot challenges in The Sims is you can add as many as you want, as opposed to lot traits. Lot traits, there's only like 3, I think, you can be able to add, whereas lot challenges you can add more than 3. Hence Little Miss Sam adding the option for the lot challenge. That way you have more options to add to your lot, basically what your lot can and cannot do. And so for me, when it comes to Little Miss Sam, what I actually tend to do, because as you have noticed on her website, right, let me go back there real quickly. You notice on her website, she actually has a lot of mods, quite a lot of mods. And this is not everything. Bear in mind, these are all additional pages. And a lot of her mods, actually, they tweak a lot of really what might appear to be minuscule details about the game, but it helps a great deal when you're actually playing the game, to the point where I know that there was a time where I was using Little Miss Sam's mods so much that when I was playing vanilla, I automatically assumed the certain functions came with the game, that when I was trying to like achieve them, I was like, wait, why is this not working? And then I realized that, oh my gosh, this was actually a tweak that was made by Little Miss Sam. That's how amazing her mods are. And so when you've got a creator who's got loads and loads of mods or CC like this, I tend to create an additional folder specifically where I place all their mods. And so with Little Miss Sam, bearing in mind that some of her files have got script files, it's very important that you're very watchful of how far deep that you put the files in. And by that I mean, I'll give you an example. I'm creating a folder here, and I'm going to name it Little Miss Sam. Okay, Little Miss Sam. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag and drop the mod that I just downloaded into it. Okay, so basically by dragging and dropping that mod into the Little Miss Sam folder that I've created in the mods folder, already I have sent that mod 2 folders deep. Okay, because this is the mods, then there's that one, then there is that one. Okay, for the most part, if something has a script file, if I'm not mistaken, this is the furthest in terms of folders deep you should be able to take them. You should not take them any further. For instance, create yet another folder and then put a package file with a script file in here. The script file that goes in this folder will not function because it's too many folders deep. Okay, so this basically 2 folders deep is as far as you should take a script file. It cannot go any further than that, otherwise it will not function. I repeat, any further than these basically 3 folders deep, it will not function. So bear in mind about that. Okay, and so in terms of keeping your mods folder organized, one of the reasons why I do create folders for certain creators if they've got too many files is for this exact reason. And then any others where you find that maybe there's just one mod there, one mod there, one mod there, what I do tend to do, if it's ones that change gameplay, I create a folder and I name it gameplay, you know, gameplay mods. And then I just go ahead and place them in there. That way there's no confusion, and within that folder, because it's only one extra folder deep, I can literally organize it according to the creator's name. Okay, that's an option, you know. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm just going to go in one of my backup folders so that I can show you. The question is which one. I've got so many. It's crazy. So let's see what this one has. Okay, this one's got quite a few. This is perfect. I actually need to get rid of this because I don't need a lot of this. These are not they're out of date. Outdated, should I say. So for instance, right, here I've got Qingyu mod. Qingyu has got loads of folders. These are a few because I was carrying out an update, but Qingyu does actually have a lot of mods available for download, and so I did create a separate folder for Qingyu. I've got where's the gameplay FG? Okay, it's not in here. I will show you. It is somewhere in one of my other folders. But like cars and transportations, for example, okay, I use a variety of creators for the cars, and for example, to be honest with the cars, because it's package files, I've never felt the need to organize them by creator because they're never that many. This is only 163 items. I know for some people they're like, whoa, that's a lot, but for me it's not. It's easy for me to track down who's who because of the simple fact that it's in alphabetical order as well. Okay, so that's for cars and transportation. So I'm talking about bicycles, cars, what else, yachts and things like that I can download that people actually create. Baker Gaming or Backy Gaming normally has quite a lot as well, so I did create a separate folder for Backy Gaming. Baker Gaming actually does these are actually mods that Backy Gaming does, as well as custom content, rocks and things like that, things I do with like nature and outside. That's what Backy Gaming tends to create. Panda Summer does mods as well as CC. Okay, and you can see in Panda Summer's file, I have got the script files there as well as package files, and that's because she's got the birth mod, you know, that I use, childbirth mod, and then there's the makeup kits as well. That's a script file as well, but it also goes with a package file. So Panda Summer has actually got a folder of her own, and so on and so forth. Okay, let me try and see if I can find the folder that I created the gameplay mods, because it is there. Hang on, let me click on that one. Okay, yeah, even when mods that I suspect to be broken, I do tend to put them somewhere until I do like a 50-50, which is basically to try and narrow down which mods are broken. So need sorting, update, temporary update. Okay, that's a little miss. Some folders you can see. I actually need to organize this. There we go. So you've got here gameplay mods. So gameplay mods, like I mentioned, is literally a variety of different people because there's not so many that are specific to one particular mod creator. So I place them all within one folder, and it makes it easy for me to actually track down what needs updating when it's time to actually update mods, especially when there's a patch update. And so roughly this is how you can be able to organize. But again, you know, it all depends on your preference on how you decide to organize your mods folder. But in regards to when you download them, this is pretty much how it looks like. Now, when it comes to, you're going to have people like SimRealist, like I mentioned earlier. SimRealist has got a variety of different mods. Let's say, for example, I click on the SimRealist experience, which is basically all their mods. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and download all of them. Okay, I don't necessarily need all of them. I'm just going to take me to the download for now. And with SimRealist, and the reason why I chose SimRealist to use them as an example is because some mods, in order for them to function, they do come with tray files, which is basically builds that you can use with the mods. And the reason why they offer the tray files for those is because some elements within those builds are actually custom content that are functional, so technically they are also mods, right, that allow the game to work. And so, for example, here you've got the tray file folder of SimRealist venues and the SimRealist experience, and this is Chinese, so that doesn't matter because I don't speak Chinese. So I'm gonna go ahead and download. I don't know why the cookie for banner is literally coming up now. Now these are tray files, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the mods folder for now, okay? Because I'm going to be showing you how to place your tray files if the mod you are downloading comes with a build, and how to go about basically placing your built in the tray files. And some mods that you might download, especially if you've chosen that you want a new save file, again, that's a whole other tutorial I might have to go through with you. But for now, the reason why I'm dealing with tray files is because some mods, like SimRealist ones, for example, the SMB banking mod, it does require a bank if you want your Sims to actually go to a physical bank. There's a build for that. And then even the one with the hospital, it's got a build that actually takes you to your, you know, your actual doctor's office, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have that send me there. So as you can see, I have 2 zip files, which I have to now go ahead and unzip. So I'm going to go ahead and extract that. It might take a minute, I'm not sure. And I'm going to go ahead and extract the tray folder as well. Okay, so they're both still going, so it's going to be a minute. So I will be back with you in a moment. Okay, so we are back now, and all the folders have managed to be extracted. I'm going to go ahead, and again, this should be a rule of thumb. Go ahead and delete the zip files. Never ever keep the zip files in your folder. It can cause your game to crash or the mods to not function. It just causes a lot of unnecessary mess. So always remember to delete the zip files after you have extracted the folders that you need. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and start with the actual venues first. Okay, so this tray folders file, when I double click on it, you'll find that it's got more folders in it because the venues do different things. You've got the financial center, which is pre-built venues, and then you've got the medical clinic venues, and then you've got the mortem pre-built venues. So the mortem is the one that works with the funeral mod that SimRealist has created, and basically you have the build where your Sims actually go and have the funeral, etc. It's kind of pretty cool. And then you've got the medical clinic, again, you know, where your Sims can actually go and have their blood pressure checked. They can buy medicine. It's actually really, really cool. I haven't played the mortem one just as yet, but I have used the medical clinic a number of times because my Sims, for some reason, are always getting obese and high blood pressure. So so I've had to send them to the hospital a number of times, and I love it. You know, literally your Sims actually go and actually pay money when they've been seen by the doctor. So do make sure that your Sims have actually got the money where they can afford to pay the bill. If they're unable to pay the bill, they actually can get charged after the fact. So I love all those, you know, elements that it adds to the game. That's why I love using mods. And then the financial center, interestingly enough, in as much as I use the SMB build to organize the households within the game, I've actually not taken my Sim to the financial center, but I do want to start using more of both the financial center and mortem, especially with this life and death pack. I really hate the Grim Reaper, and I feel like they're going to be forcing more Sims to die, and so I want to make sure that I don't have the Grim Reaper. I don't want to have to really engage in the life and death stuff because it's a little bit too grim for me. It's against, a lot of it is against my faith. And so if mortem actually gives me the realism of actually having a proper funeral, and it takes away the Grim Reaper, and I don't have to go through the gory stuff that are in life and death, I'm quite happy to go this avenue when it comes to mortem, using the mortem mod, you know. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and place these venues. Now, here's the thing. Because I have downloaded this before in the past, it's likely I actually already have all of these builds within my tray folders, basically within my library for my gallery, okay? However, for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and show you one of them. And so again, you can see there's loads of folders deep. I'm going to double click that, and you can see when you access your tray files, and this is including tray files. Basically, for those who are not clear what I'm talking about right now, tray files are inclusive of 2 factors, okay? Builds and households. Households, builds, aka lots. When you're searching for it in the gallery, it's literally under lots, and when you're searching for the Sims that people have created or you have created within the gallery, they're called households. And so the tray files are inclusive of households and lots. So in this particular situation, we are looking at lots, and you'll find that they tend to look like this with loads of zeros and blueprint. And the household ones actually do have one that actually says household. And so in order to place your tray files, within the tray folder, literally what I do is I select all up there, or Control A, which will select everything, and then I cut. I don't copy, I just cut. I'm used to doing it like this, but if you want to be careful in case you do something wrong, you can do copy and then delete it afterwards. That's an option. And then go ahead and go to the Sims 4 folder, which is where you're going to find your tray file. Double click on the tray file and then go ahead and paste. Okay, now when you paste, it will basically go ahead and paste if you already don't have the folder. As you can see with me, it's telling me that I already have the items, right? Do I want to replace it? I'm just going to go ahead and skip, because I honestly don't need to replace them. I've literally only done it for the purposes of this tutorial. And as you can see, I'm just going to briefly show you within my tray folder. Yes, I've got loads more, and it's gone up since last time I did a tutorial to 9,000, which is ridiculous, but that I don't care. The ones that are actually Sims, they actually say household binary. Those are the ones that you actually be able to identify that they're actually an actual Sim, whereas the ones that are, you know, builds or lots, they actually say blueprint. Okay, and then the ones that are actually just a room, literally it says room file, you know, which is kind of cool. So blueprints are to do with builds, room files are to do with actual rooms, and then households are actually Sims themselves. I'm hoping that has helped anyone in case anyone has ever been confused as to how these are labeled, and that's how you're able to kind of recognize them. And so I'm going to go back to the mods folder. And so, because obviously it's going to take too long if I try to show you every single one of the venues, etc., it's literally going to be the same thing over and over again, if truth be told. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, SimRealist actually worked with Kate Emerald. Kate Emerald is actually an amazing builder, and they managed to get her to create different sizes of the lot. So you've got large, medium, and small. So depending on the lot size that you want to place the build on, you've got that option of a large lot, a medium sized lot, and a small lot, which is amazing. And I love that about this collaboration that they did together with Kate Emerald. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the entire tray folder because I don't need it, like I mentioned. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how the actual mods look like. Now, like I said, SimRealist has got multiple mods, so I do tend to create a folder for SimRealist. In this case, because I downloaded the entire experience in one, rather than saying the SimRealist experience 10.27.24, which I can leave it as is, sometimes I just relabel it to say SimRealist, okay? But for the purpose of this, and for anyone who easily gets confused in terms of which versions they have, etc., that sort of thing, especially when there's been updates, I would recommend that you leave it labeled as is, because this 10.27.24 is basically the date of which it was last updated. So the next one that they update is going to have a different date. So this will help you to see whether you've got the updated version of the entire SimRealist experience or not. With that said, depending on updates that they have carried out themselves, as well as maybe potentially with patch updates with the game, you might find that only one of the items or one of the mods has been updated. Then you have to go ahead and change the one that's within the actual folder itself, and as opposed to the entire SimRealist experience, which is a tedious process for you to have to do, because you're going to have to find yourself having to delete the tray files because you don't need them anymore. It's literally just update what you need to update rather than having to go through the whole thing, because you'll find that, as you can see here in front of me, it's showing the version. So the flow fit is actually a mod NCC in one, because it's the one that actually adds exercise machines to your game. It's literally one package file, which is pretty cool, and it's amazing actually. It adds like a CrossFit and all that stuff, which adds more basically workout equipment for your game. And it's got this is version 0.2.1.1, and so when there's an update, there's probably going to be version 0.2.1.2, you know what I mean, and you'll be able to switch it out that way. And something to note, whenever you are updating mods, right, whenever there is a mod update and you find that the version that you have is now outdated and you need a new version of it, always, once you have found the updated version and you're ready to download it, always make sure that you always delete the previous one first, before you download the new one, rather than replacing it. For some reason, mods creators do advise that you delete the previous one, because I think sometimes maybe there is a cache that happens and it causes the mod to seem like it hasn't been updated. So rather than, you know, to be safe than sorry, delete the previous version and then download the current version. Now in this particular situation, we are only, you know, one folder deep, and then obviously with these additional folders, you got, obviously it's going to be 2 folders deep, right? The FlowFit one is just a package file. This one, on the other hand, which is the HLC, which is to do with property, it's got a script file. And so I always double check every folder to make sure there's no additional folders deep that are script files, so that I can place them back, you know, a folder up in case. So every time you download, even after you've zipped up the file, always just double check within each folder that you've got, you don't have any additional script files within additional folders, because then it will stop those script files from working. Okay. And so in this particular situation, these are actually perfectly placed. I don't have to worry about a thing. As you can see, the Mortem has got a script file as well. Organic hair actually is similar to what the Sims recently updated. Organic hair has actually been around for a long time, but the Sims now, I think specifically with high school years, your Sims can actually grow hair, although I think that might be a base game update. Your Sims hair actually grows, and then they end up complaining, my hair is too long, you know, I need a haircut, you know, that sort of thing. And you can take them to go and actually have a haircut, which I think is pretty cool. And organic hair actually does that. And then you've got private practice, which is the one that they go to the hospital and you pay your bill, etc., that sort of thing, with the different lot sizes as well, the private practice. And again, as you can see, this one has actually got 3 package files and 1 script file. And then you've got RE is also to do with property, but in a different way. One is land and coal. One is to do with property. One adds elements to help manage your lot better, like washing up liquid. You can mow the lawn, lawn. And what is that? Oh, you can have towels. You can run out of towels, which I think is so cool. So cool. Oh my god. I honestly, listen, I love Sim Realist. Like, there's certain mod creators I just absolutely adore, because it just makes my game so much more chef's kiss. And then there's Sim National Bank. Okay, Sim National Bank, as you can see, there are 3 different ones. Sim National Bank is basically where you can get a loan and things like that, and it works with the the financial bank center, the build where you can go. And then the bills, this is to help you manage your bills, and you can separate funds for each sim that you have within your funds that you can have within basically your household. So you know how, like, no matter who is earning what, the money all goes in one place, and when the bills come, everybody pays the bill together. Well, Sim National Bank bills actually helps you separate everyone's income. You can choose that the person 100% of their income goes into their own bank account, and then if you get them a debit card, you can actually get them a debit card. Then the debit card is what they can put money in to help with household bills and things like that, where they're contributing basically. I just listen. I think I'm gonna probably do not really a review, because I don't really like to do reviews per se. It's not really my thing, but I would love to just do a showcase of each and every one of Sim Realist mods. Hopefully I'll be able to do that within the new year when I get my new computer, because I want people to actually be able to see how amazing it is the way I find it amazing. And then the Sim National Bank Financial Center. This is basically what's going to add towards the financial center itself for it to actually function as a bank. Okay, and as you can see, only 2 folders down deep, no more, and so they should work just fine. And so now I'm going to go ahead to the custom content. Now that we've had a look at the mods, we're going to go ahead to custom content. I'm hoping so far, guys, you've been able to keep up, because obviously I am making this particular tutorial for beginners who don't know anything about how to download mods, who don't know anything about how to organize mods, who don't understand what is supposed to go where, you know. And so hopefully so far you've been able to keep up and I have not confused you in any way. Do feel free to ask your questions down in the comments. And so now we are on CC, also known as custom content, or should I say custom content, also known as CC. And one of the Sims 4 CC creators that I have chosen is Ebonix, because I love her hair. If you are a black simmer particularly, because we know how much they lack representation for black sims in the game even today, even if they've collaborated with Ebonix and EPCreativeMedia and I think one or two other black simmers in order to bring out a few black items or culturally black elements aesthetically in the game, but still it's still lacking a great deal if I'm going to be honest. And this is the reason why I also chose Ebonix, because I think a lot of people don't know where they can get amazing afro hair, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you. So this is Ebonix's she's got Patreon download 2017 and current, and then the old download 2015 and up to 2017. So I'm gonna go to the new ones. Now someone like Ebonix has a lot, okay, and just as I'm saying a lot, as you can see right now, this is her download index. It's a lot, okay. These are all available for the public, which means they're completely free for you to download. But look at this. Look at this. There's a long list. And this consists mainly of hairs, but also beards, and as well as some jewelry. I think there's a few jewelry and I think a few clothes here and there, but mostly majority of her stuff is hair. And that's what Ebonix is mostly known for. And so let me go ahead and try and see if I can download one so I can show you how it is. Now with someone like Ebonix, what I tend to do is, and I will show you as I download, because I've already got the folder pre-existing folder, but because for the purposes of this tutorial I will create a new one. Let's look at Tegan braids. Okay, so when I click on Tegan braids, it's going to take me to the post that's got the Tegan braids. Oh, aren't they beautiful? This is gorgeous. And so I'm going to go ahead and download. As you can see, this is a zip file, so we're going to have to unzip it. The difference is with zip files, with CC, a lot of CC does not come with script files, so you can send it folders deep. But my recommendation is, just because you can send it a lot of folders deep, don't overdo it. And the reason why I say this is because when the game has loaded, right, it has to read through all those folders to get to that particular custom content, which can cause lag in your game. So it can slow down your game. Hence, the less folders your mods and your CC are in, the less work your PC has to do in order to get to those files, if that makes sense. Okay, so in this particular case, this is for examples purposes only. Okay, maybe I'll download like 2 or 3 more from Ebonix just to show you. But I go ahead and create a new folder, and I'm literally going to name it Ebonix. Okay, however, actually, because this is if you are going to be organizing your folders according to creator, you can do it this way. The other way is create another folder, bear with me, and I'm going to name it hair. Now, as I mentioned, Ebonix has got a variety of items. Majority of hers is hair, and so in this particular situation, I'm going to just go for the hair download. So I'm going to actually drag the Ebonix folder into the hair folder. Okay, that way within the hair folder I can organize things according to the creator of that particular item. So I'm going to go ahead, double click on that, and then I'm going to go ahead and save it. That's how you can organize it. The other option is to have an Ebonix folder, and then within the Ebonix folder you can have hair, you can have jewelry, you can have accessories, and then put the accessories and the jewelry and the hair in accordingly within the Ebonix folder. So those are the 2 different ways you can be able to organize your mod folder. I'm also going to show you, just in case those are confused from my explanation, I'll go ahead and I'll show you after I extract this one. So I'm going to have that take me straight to the Ebonix folder. Maximize this, go ahead and unzip. Remember the rule of thumb about zip folders: always extract them and then delete the zip folder. If it's an RAR file, go ahead and unrar it, I don't know, unzip it, because it's technically also a zip file, to be honest. Unzip it and then delete the raw file. Okay, and then in here, as you can see, it's a folder within itself under the hair, under Ebonics, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But in this case, because I've already got the Ebonics folder, and the Ebonics folder also comes with images, which is also the reason why you should always open the folders, because for me, I try not to overclutter the folders. So things like the images, they're great when it comes to recognizing what file is what, but I tend to honestly just move that into the Ebonics folder because it's under here already anyways. And then I'm gonna go ahead and delete this folder with the PNG files that are obviously indicating to what the item is, because it clutters my mods folder and it adds up in terms of size. Okay, so I try to avoid that as much as I possibly can. And so when I mentioned that I'm gonna show you how to organize it in the other way, so like I mentioned, you can create a hair folder and then create an Ebonics folder, another. For example, if I am creating hairs myself as EPCmedia, I can go ahead and create an EPCmedia file, and then within that file folder, should I say, I'm going to go ahead and place any hairs that I create so that they're all under the hair category, right? And then if I want to do it according to creator, you create a folder. I'm going to use myself, EPCmedia. Okay, and then within that folder, let's say for example I really do a wide range of things, which I do actually, come to think of it. I have recolored a number of things. Okay, so for example, I've got furniture and decorations that I've recolored. Okay, so I'm gonna create a folder that says furniture and decorations. Okay, and then I've also recolored things like makeup, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a folder that says makeup. And so that way I don't have additional folders within the makeup folder. All of them are just going to be package files. Same goes for furniture and decorations. If I happen to create mods, this is mods especially that use script files, I'm going to go ahead and basically create a folder that maybe says functional mods, and then I'm going to place them in there. And so this is one way that you can be able to organize your mods folder according to creator. If you want to organize them according to category, in terms of item category, you can go ahead and create hair. For the most part, I organize my folders, my mods folder, according to category. So I have like hair, I have I've got hair, I've got shoes, I've got eyelashes, I've got makeup, I've got furniture and decoration, as you saw, I've got cars, I've got food even, because there's people who, like Iceman, who make custom food, you know, which adds more food even to your game. And again, Iceman technically makes mods /cc because the food is basically modifying the game. It adds something that's functional within the game basically. So those are the ways that you can be able to organize your mods folder. And so again, you know, with Ebonics, I'm just going to go back one. I should have actually opened in a new tab. As you can see, it says PC game overrides. Overrides are not technically mods because they just basically replace something that's already there. So for example, if I don't want an additional version of the old version of the bed that I have recolored in The Sims, I can just create it as an override when I'm creating it from Sims 4 Studio. That way it replaces the one that's in the game, and I don't have to have two versions of it, basically the Sims 4 version as well as my version. That's what overrides technically do. So I'm gonna double click that cornrows, and let's say Eddie Wild Dreads. Okay, and there we go. Cornrows, again, it's a zip file, so you basically just do the same thing. Go ahead and download it. And I recommend for a lot of people who, if you're having trouble finding hair custom content and mods and things like that, because Patreon has introduced this system where you can actually now be a follower of a creator on Patreon for free, especially if you're not able to pledge. You can follow so many of them on Patreon for free, and you will get instant updates when you're in your email whenever they update something. But also if something was in early access, the moment it's been released from early access, you will receive an email telling you that this item is available and it was initially released in early access 13, 21 days ago, etc., that sort of thing. And it helps you keep up to date, because you are also going to be receiving emails that they send when the creator actually has a patch update on their, an update, or their mod broke because of the patch update. You will receive an email telling you to say, they'll say either, okay, we're currently working on it, we know our mod is broken, if you have any issues, please let us know, but also gives you an update to say this is how far we are. And it just helps you keep track of the creators that you actually, whose mods and CC that you are actually downloading. It's a great way to keep up to date with any new things that they have, and it saves you to have to keep having to scour the internet every single time, if that makes sense. So I've downloaded that. I'm going to close that window and I'm going to go ahead and download this one. Obviously these are the dreads. Download it as well. Okay, so they've both finished downloading, so I'm going to have that take me to the Ebonics folder, and I think I've opened a lot of things by now. Yep, I figured I did. Ridiculous. Close that. Close that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and extract that one and extract the other one as well. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, I thought it was gonna be quicker as well, but it's not so quick. Are we done? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete the zip files, and then I'm gonna go ahead and, as you can see, there's a thumbnail, so it reminds you this is such a nice dread. Look at that, this is so good. I'm gonna go ahead and actually push that into the Ebonics folder, and then I'm gonna do the same with the other one as well. Okay, as you can see, the PNG, which just kind of shows you, and this one actually comes with, oh, I hate it when that happens. This one actually comes with a long, medium, CM, I think child. This might be child maybe, and short. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna push that over into the Ebonics folder as well. And you don't need to get rid of anything, like unless they tell you to say choose one. Oh yes, that's another reason why I chose Little Miss Sam. I forgot to mention. I might have to go back a bit just to show you. So basically there are some mods where when you download them, it basically tells you to say you only can choose one and you have to delete the rest. For example, Little Miss Sam has a what's the mod called? Live-in Business mod. The Live-in Business mod, if you're going to be a vet clinic, if you've chosen the vet clinic one of it, it gives you 4 uniform options for the vet, right? However, it tells you to say if you're going to be having the uniform, you can only choose one color option. So basically, if you want the blue version, for example, you have to delete the pink one and the other 2 other colors. You have to delete those package files. You can't keep them, otherwise they will not function. And this is in the same way of certain mods that you can download that are required, and I'll tell you which ones specifically, because there's a few. For example, if you download the loading screen, the loading screens, there's some people who have a bunch of loading screens. For example, I've made loads of loading screens. I've just not made them available just as yet for people to download, because I need to update them. The recent patch update broke all loading screens, so I'm just updating all of them. I need to do like a batch fix. Once I do that, I'm gonna make them available on my Patreon. But when it comes to loading screens, let's say for example you love a whole bunch of loading screens and you've downloaded them, never ever put more than one loading screen package file into your mods folder, because the loading screen will not function. It will not work. You can only have one loading screen package file within your mods folder at any given time. If you want to change your loading screen, you have to close your game, remove the other loading screen, and put the new loading screen or the other loading screen that you want in your game. That's how loading screens work. The same applies with the phone overrides. Like, the phone, when people have like an actual Samsung or an iPhone within the game, as opposed to the little brick phone that the Sims come with, those are phone overrides. You can't have more than one in your game. And so when it comes to that as well, you have to basically only place one package file. If you've downloaded multiple ones, you only can download one package file. Same applies when it comes to the cast background. You can only have one cast background within your game, because if you add more than one, again, it will not function. So same applies with the files that change the home screen. Those you only need one at a time. So there are certain things, elements that you have to have within the game that you cannot have more than one. Even the plumb bob, the one that does the plumb bob replacement, you can only have one of those within the game. If you have more than one in your mods folder, it will not function. Okay, so yeah, these are just some examples, but because those they do help, you know, make your game look better aesthetically. However, because of the way the game functions, it doesn't allow you to switch them around the way you would furniture and hair and, you know, other items within the game, because that's not how it was created. So hopefully you've been able to see how I've been able to separate the hair in Ebonics. I've put them all in one, and when there's an update, it's very easy, to be honest, to find it, because it's within one and you just find the name that you're looking for, delete the one that you don't need anymore, and then just swap it around. Okay, another that I decided to check out, let's close the Ebonics one, is LMS. Again, you know, if you're downloading things like clothes, these are such nice clothes. So downloading things like clothes, look at this outfit. Okay, this is again is a zip file, so you click on that. This creator is called LSIM. Okay, and so this is under clothing, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a clothing folder, and this again, this is just to give you an idea of how you can go about doing it. Okay, I've still got all caps. Clothing or clothes, to be honest, I prefer the word clothes. It is clothing, you know, under clothes. And then I'm gonna double click that, and I'm gonna create a folder, because LSIM has actually got a lot of items. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and create an individual folder for that, and then I'm gonna double click that and save that. And again, the same way as Ebonics, let's go ahead and download this. Okay, I'm just gonna download this too, and that's it, because I feel like I'm about to go in the rabbit hole of trying to CC shop when I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be doing this tutorial. Behave yourself, Alaka. So is it done? Okay, that one's done. Let's have it take us there. Boom, there we go. So now, as you can see, we've got the zip files just like before. Go ahead, extract. Go ahead and extract the other one as well. There we go. And then I'm going to delete those. And within that, as you can see, it's also got pictures. So that's why you always have to go into the folders, because in as much as this is good for reference purposes, it clogs up your mods folder. Okay, it actually does give you a better picture. This is so, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is actually Gucci. Interesting. I love this. Anyway, let me not get carried away. This is so bad. It just goes to, I'm such a CC addict. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. And then these are the other ones, the little skirt and top. These are very cute. There's the top and the skirt, so you can actually mix match them. I love that. And I'm just going to go ahead and place that in, and then I'm going to go ahead and select both of these folders and then delete them. So generally how I'm doing this is literally the exact same method that I follow when I'm downloading mods. I basically unzip, and then I delete all the zip files, and then I go into each folder, and then I remove all the package files, all of them, and then after I finished everything, I go ahead and I delete all the folders that I don't need. So that's kind of like the method that I use. But again, you know, each to their own. This might be working perfectly for me, but other people might decide to do it differently, you know what I mean? But this is just to give you an idea of how I go about doing it. And so when it comes to CC, that's honestly, guys, that's pretty much it. That is really pretty much it when it comes to having to separate mods versus custom content and organizing. Now, moving right along, after you have finished that part of the game, there is still one more thing you need to do, and this is in-game. Okay, and so like I mentioned earlier, if it's your first time installing your game, the Sims 4 game, you have to launch the game first, and then the game is going to go ahead and create the mods folder, and then afterwards you have to go ahead and close the game, and then only then can you be able to download those mods folders, those mods and the mods and the custom content into the mods folder. Okay, and so after the game has gone ahead and activated the mods folder, whether it is your first time having installed the Sims 4 game, or if it's your first time having to try and use mods, these are now the following steps you have to make. Now, if it's your first time ever having launched the Sims 4 game, and as I mentioned, okay, you have to launch your game first in order for you to create the mods folder. However, before you go ahead and exit the game after you've launched it, this is the very first time you've ever had Sims 4, and this is like a continuation for those who already have the Sims 4. The next step you have to do is, on the home screen, whilst you're still on the home screen, okay, you have to go over to the right hand side of the home screen, as you can see pictured here, and on the far right you can see the option that says options. The option that says options, it literally says options on the far right, and on the options, click on options. It's got the 3 dots as well. Click on options. After you click on options, you're going to have the pop-up window. The pop-up that appears is actually the options menu, kind of technically. Within that, click on game options. Once you select game options, within game options, okay, within game options, you're going to see a menu on your left hand side, right? This is to do with gameplay and other bits and pieces, music, etc. You can change your graphics, you know, all that stuff, but that's not what we're here for this tutorial. We're here to just address mods. So you have to go all the way. If you look all the way towards the bottom, I think it's all the way to the bottom, you can actually see the section that says other. Okay, go ahead and click on other. Now within the other section, and I know it sounds like within the other section, within the section for other, after you've selected other, I swear if someone is not looking at their screen, they would get so confused. So within the other section, okay, of the game options, you will see a section that says enable custom content and mods. Okay, you have to go ahead and check mark that, so it has to turn green. Go ahead and check mark that, and then just below it you'll see a section that says script mods allowed. Go ahead and check mark that if it has not been check marked already. If it's already check marked, then leave it green. If not, go ahead and check mark that. After you have done that, go ahead and click on apply changes. This is something to note. Every time you make any changes within the game options, whilst you're in the particular section, always click on apply changes, just to make sure that the changes that you've made have actually been applied to the game. Okay, after you've gone ahead and clicked on apply changes, which will save it, okay, click on the little X at the top right corner, and that will bring you back to the menu, the main menu basically, and go ahead and click on exit game. It will ask you, are you sure you want to exit the game? Go ahead and exit the game, because once you've enabled mods, basically you can't go ahead and play with mods. The game actually has to relaunch in order to activate the option for mods to actually be enabled. So go ahead and exit the game, and then after you exit the game, actually there is something that you need to do, and I'm going to show you that. The other bits I've just been showing you screenshots so far, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what you need to do within your Sims 4 folder. After you have actually exited the game, okay, you will find that when you go back to your Sims 4 folder, it would have created some cache of sorts, because now it's left like, you know, breadcrumbs. Go ahead and locate this file. It's called local-thumb cache. Go ahead, locate it and delete it. Okay, this is something I recommend for everybody across the board. Obviously if you're on console, it's not going to work the same way, but if you're on PC or Mac, every single time you're about to launch your game again, go and locate your Sims 4 folder, go and locate the local-thumb cache and delete it, because it basically leaves residue of what you were doing previously. And sometimes, believe it or not, it can affect how things appear within your game. And you'll be like, but this is there, why is it not appearing properly? It's because it's held on to the previous cache of what was there before. And so I always delete that. It is safe to delete. Other things that are actually safe to delete is that cache star. Yep, it's actually okay to delete that. Online thumbnail cache, literally it's okay to delete that as well. It's safe. It always recreates. These are files that the game actually always recreates every single time it launches, so never worry about that. But the most important one is the local thumb cache. Always make sure that you delete that. And so after you have actually done that, you are ready to now launch your game and ready to start using your mods. And after you launch the game, you are actually going to see a pop-up that's going to appear. The pop-up that's going to appear is a pop-up that actually shows you that you've installed mods, right? It basically is a pop-up, and it literally says Maxis does not pre-screen or support mods, please use with caution. So when they say support mods, it's not that they're against it, it's just to say that we are not the ones who are responsible if something bad happens to your game. You adding mods to your game is strictly your responsibility as the player and owner of this game. And so what I tend to do, and I recommend for everybody, especially if you are going to be adding loads of mods, to be honest, even if you have a few mods, this is something I highly recommend that you do, is that you'll find that it's got a little check mark at the bottom, okay, and it's green, which means every time you launch your game, it's going to show this pop-up which lists all the mods that you've got in your mods folder, okay, every single time. Now I recommend that you uncheck this, okay, literally uncheck mark this and then click on OK on the right hand side, so that every time you launch your game you do not have to see this pop-up. Because every single time you have to have this pop-up show up, it means every single time you load your game on initial launch, your game will be trying to read every single one of your mods, which again slows down your game launch, which can be very tedious. The game is going to have to read your mods anyways once it launches when you go in game, so you don't need to be trying to do it twice, if that makes sense. So go ahead and uncheck the check mark and press OK, click on OK, and then that way your game doesn't have to have that menu pop up every single time you launch with mods, basically. And once that's done, you are free to now go ahead and play as you like. When you are in game, how you will be able to recognize your mods is every single mod item that's within your game, be it in CAS or in build by, you find that it's going to have a wrench next to it. It's going to have a wrench next to it. Now if you find that you are in build by mode and you downloaded furniture, etc., and you can't see your mods folder, literally go to the right hand side of your game and you find the option that allows you to kind of like filter. You can filter by color, by theme, etc., that sort of thing. Go and click on content. When you click on content, there is an option that basically shows whether you've checkmarked custom content or not. Go ahead and checkmark custom content, which should allow for your custom content to be visible in build by. And so whenever you don't see your custom content build items that you have downloaded in your build mode, once you first time, especially if you're first time using mods, just go ahead to the right hand side, go through the menu, bring down the drop down menu for content, and then check mark custom content, and your custom content will show. Every single custom content item will have a little wrench, like literally that building wrench on it. It's normally color blue, and that's how you'll be able to recognize that that item is actually custom content. Same rule applies when you're in CAS. When you're in CAS and you are using custom content, you will find that within CAS, the custom content will always show within CAS. You don't ever have to worry about having to show it. But if you want to try and filter that, the filter at the top that allows you to filter whether male, female, gender, etc., that sort of thing, as well as style, you know, and colors, etc., also brings down the option where you can actually check off custom content, where you can just see Max's stuff or just custom content stuff only. So that is how it works. And honestly, that's it. that's it. That brings me to the end of my tutorial for how to use mods or how to download mods as a beginner. When it comes to my tutorials, I do like to be very detailed, because I know that I have suffered in the past with people not being detailed when they give tutorials, where I've had to now, as well as download or follow instructions, should I say, not download, follow instructions, I find myself having to figure out the in-between. So whenever I do give my tutorials, they are quite lengthy, simply because I like to be as detailed as possible in order to avoid people having to feel confused when they're supposed to be following a tutorial. So with that said, I hope you did enjoy this tutorial. I hope you find it helpful. Please do click on the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber of my channel just as yet. Give this video a thumbs up, I'll very much appreciate it, and also do share the video if you find it helpful and you think others might be able to benefit from it. I very much appreciate the support on my channel. Leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, even if it's just to let me know that it was helpful, or if you've got additional questions, or if you've got other tutorials that you would like to know more about, you'd like to learn more about in regards to The Sims 4, I'll be more than happy to put it on my agenda so that I can go ahead and create the video. Otherwise, I wish you all the blessings that God has to give. Please make sure that you're kind to everybody. You never know who might need it. We are living in perilous times where people are actually more depressed than ever, and so you never know what a word of kindness might do to actually save a life. And so with that said, may God bless you. Have an amazing day. Take care and goodbye. Hiya, this is post-edit Alaka. I just realized there's something that I forgot to mention that's actually also important in regards to locating your custom content. Obviously, if you've downloaded a build that has got custom content and you've downloaded a household or a sim that has got custom content, you can locate them via the gallery. But when you are in the gallery, you have to make sure that on the left panel, you go to the advanced section. Within the advanced section, you'll see a section that says include custom content. You have to check mark that. Once you check mark it, any item that has actually got custom content on it, or in it should I say, will actually be visible. That includes build items as well as sims, and so that will allow you to be able to actually download them, of course. So yeah, make sure that you always check mark include custom content. If that is unchecked, you will not be able to see any items that have got custom content. Otherwise, once again, take care and goodbye.